So welcome and happy Valentine's Day of 2021. This is Kaneen Hope McNiven, and I am the founder of Grace, Hope, and Gaia Transformation Retreats. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to be really honest with you. For many years, I have hated Valentine's Day. And when you've had losses or challenges, as we really all have in life, it doesn't feel good to be in a culture that sort of hallmark creates sort of a false kind of happiness or gratitude or saccharine kind of love. So I've had to do a lot of personal work to actually grapple with what is Valentine's Day? What does that mean to me and for me? And this is the place I work to teach from. And so we'll start a little bit here with the heart. Our hearts are the hub of everything that matters. Our hearts are the place where we connect with Source, Spirit, God, the Creator, the Divine, whatever it is for you. And our hearts, we actually have when our hearts are awakened, our hearts are the home for and the expression of many spiritual virtues, compassion for all beings without withholding, loving kindness, where you offer care and tenderness to those in need, whether you like them or not, whether you agree with them or not. These are spiritual, heart-based virtues. Mercy and forgiveness towards ourselves, our own transgressions and limitations, and towards others as well, including those we don't always agree with. So the heart is the hub of many of these spiritual virtues: equanimity, joy for others. And we have many hearts. So there's the awakened heart, and this movement / yoga class is an introduction to beginning to practice embodying more of the awakened heart. We all know that we sometimes suffer from an infant's heart, very tender, very needy, really need mom and dad. And we need to recognize with loving compassion, oh, that's my tender infant's heart. It doesn't have a place in an adult relationship, but it needs holding, love, and healing. Sometimes we have a child's heart or a teenager's heart where we're attempting to be autonomous and individuate and separate from conditioning our parents, or be our own unique special being. And it feels like a teenager heart sometimes. There's rebellion in it, there's energy in it, there's juice in it, right? Do you all recognize that you've got a teenage heart from time to time as well? I'm not the only one, am I? We have an adult heart, which usually shows up, hopefully, in our more adult relationships. This adult heart has the ability to compromise without hurting ourselves or other. The adult mature heart is willing to work with and grapple what's between us and pure love. It's willing to do the work of cleaning house and purifying. And then the awakened heart, the spiritual virtues, a heart that knows no boundaries and includes all. What does that mean? It's a heart that has care and compassion for even those we don't like and disagree with. It's a heart that includes everything, all our losses, all our griefs, all our joys, our hurts, our anguish, and other people's as well. That's the awakened heart. And when we do this type of yoga to embody some of these spiritual principles, we become a more heartful-based human being, fully human, fully divine, more of who we really are. Close your eyes, place your hands on your heart. Take 5 deep, caressing breaths into the area of your heart. Notice what sensations are there. Maybe there's nothing there. What occupies your heart? What is authentically present for you today in a non-hallmark kind of way? Perhaps there's tenderness in your heart. Perhaps you don't feel your heart, and that's okay too. What occupies your heart? Are there any hurts, clenches? The awakened heart holds all of that. It is not impacted by the judgments and the biases and the preferences of the mind. Now close your eyes and we'll do an optional Ohm chant. It's optional because that may not fit for you in your spiritual practice. When we Ohm, the simple purpose of the Ohm is to invoke the sacred, is to remember our human commonality rather than be so caught up in the differences. So again, it's optional, and if you care to join me from the heart, we'll chant 3 Ohms. A big full inhale. Once again, bring your awareness into your heart with the willingness to inclusively and lovingly attune to everything your heart has been through, everything that occupies your heart in this moment. And release your hands, open your eyes, and let's get started. The first thing I want to say is that everybody can do yoga. Not everybody can do every pose. And I see some of you sitting uncomfortably. So what I'm going to invite you to do is you should have a chair handy for some of the chair work. I put that into the logistics. Or you want to sit like I am with your hips above your knees. You want your hips above your knees. And that way the pelvic floor and the groin is open and the hips and the low back can relax. I think someone just entered the class, so we'll see if we can admit somebody. Yeah, okay. Right. Okay. Welcome, Julie. I'm glad you're with us. So we'll get started with making the class your own. If a joint hurts, back off. And there's this, yoga is not about force. It's not about forcing flexibility. It's not about the movement. It's about you connecting with your depths, you becoming more permeable to what's important to you, to your true nature. So yoga is about unity and connecting with yourself. Make the class your own, rest when you need to, and back off if your joint hurts. Okay, so we'll get started. You can either start sitting like I am, or you can be on a chair like this, or you can actually be standing. We're going to start and place your hands underneath the breast at the low rib. And what you, like you're pressing onto a water balloon. How, if you press from the front, you press the water into the back. We want to expand the diaphragm towards the back body and the sides. When we expand the diaphragm, it has a huge difference on the relaxation. and brightness of our breath, as well as the heart. So place your hands under the breast at the front of the ribs with firmness, but not aggression. Press the ribs back maybe a quarter to a half an inch and take 5 big breaths, inviting your breath into the back body. You can even fold forward slightly, flex slightly forward. 5 big breaths, inviting and expanding your diaphragm and your lungs into the back body. When the diaphragm becomes free of tension and obligation and the breath is brighter, we are healthier. Our moods are better. We're less anxious or depressed. After your 5th breath, one hand under the breast on the right side, one hand under at the left will look like this. And the same thing, you want to brighten your breath and the lungs laterally. This works wonders on the lymph, the health of the breast and the chest and the heart. So you're going to push in with maybe 10 or 15 pounds of pressure without aggression and breathe laterally, expanding against the resistance of the hands. 5 big, full breaths. As your lungs and your ribs expand, you press in, inviting a bigger breath and not forcing one. Very nice. And please release your hands. Take a big breath. Notice if there's not more space, capacity, and expansion in your lung. Can some of you feel that your lungs just got a little bit more expanded? Ah, great. Okay, and then we'll do a classic, what's called cat-cow in yoga. And you've got a couple of options. You can do it sitting. I'll show you sideways. In cat-cow, if you choose to do it sitting, you inhale and curl in, and exhale and stick your booty out and lift the heart. Inhale, curl in, exhale. And if you're doing it on a yoga mat, it will be like so. Inhale, curl in, exhale, booty out and arched, chest up to the sky. Do that 5 to 10 times. And with the out force and with an interest in just finding fluidity, please, in your spine. So keep it fluid, keep it juicy. The more flexible our spine is, the younger we are. Keep the breath deep and full. Expand the diaphragm, front, back, left, right. And just enjoy the juicy movement of the spine, like a little piece of seaweed in the tides, like a lush riverbed. Find that fluid quality in your spine and your neck. I'm sure you've all done that at least 5 times. And now what I'd like you to do is, since we're working with the breath, you can watch me for a moment. The diaphragm, which is right about here, is fascially connected to the heart and the lungs, the sacred psoas, the pelvic organs, also the brainstem. That's a whole nother workshop or teaching we'll get to. But when the diaphragm can expand in all directions, it's free. What contracts the diaphragm in the breath is oftentimes obligations, shoulds, conditioning, the fact that we can't fully express ourselves. These will impact the diaphragm. So we want to practice letting it move 360 degrees. I'm trying to minimize movement in my hips, but I'm trying to get the diaphragm to move front, back, left, right, front, back, left, right. So do about 5 of those with the breath, inviting a jellyfish-like undulation into your diaphragm. And if you find any contractions, gently breathe into, caress those contractions with your breath. Opening up the diaphragm works wonders for improving your health, your well-being, your moods, your lung capacity. Very nice. Well, make your way to standing, please. And feel free to sit. If you're more comfortable doing that, make the yoga your own today. Stand with your feet hip-width apart, your pelvic bowl level. What does that mean? You're neither jutted forward, I'm exaggerating a little bit, or sticking your booty out, but you're stacked, head, shoulder, hip, knee, ankle. So stand stacked as best as you can. Feet hip-width apart and parallel, and activate, wake up the feet a little bit. What does that mean? The feet are our connection to the earth. So if you lift your toes a bit and engage the arches a bit, that creates an arch in the foot. And that arch in the foot goes a long way for creating buoyancy in the body, as well as all the diaphragms in the body, and a lightness embodied in our being. So activate your feet. That's your relationship with the earth. And the earth offers up supportive energy if our feet are alive and awake. Okay? So keeping that, then we'll do a simple breathing exercise. What I'd like you to do, keep the legs strong, engaged towards the midline, feet active, and let your arms ride on the waves of the breath as you inhale your arms up. And then reach for the sky and root down into the earth. So you're moving in 2 directions. Press the earth away, reach up for the sky, exhale, your arms down. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down. Let the arms ride on the waves of the breath. 3 more times. Root down, rise up, exhale down. Remember to breathe into the back body, the back of the lung, the back of the heart. Don't let the head get rigid, keep it fluid. Good, and then down. And please step your feet apart. Keep the feet active. Isometrically draw the legs towards the midline as if you want to wrinkle your mat or whatever you're standing on, so you're hugging towards the midline. Take your arms out to the side and then stretch out like a star. Take your arms wide, lift your chest up to the sky, and then high, lift your chest up to the sky. Legs stay strong, head back, chest open. Really broaden and brighten the collarbones, and exhale the arms down. Whew. We'll do that a couple more times. High and wide with the arms, pause wherever there seems to be tension or restriction and breathe there. Arms up to the sky, heart up to the sky, head back. Notice I'm staying stacked in my body, and do that 3 more times. Like a star. Come home to yourself and then express yourself fully, stretch out. Stretch each arm, open your collarbones, lengthen the back of your neck. Beautiful. Opening up the body vehicle to more space, to that which is holy. And this kind of movement and breath helps reduce pain and can actually transform how you embody your spiritual virtues and your heart. Nice done. Okay, so I know in the logistics we talked about having a chair. I want to show you a couple of things you can do. If you have a more advanced, let me give you, just watch, I'll do a demo. With the chair, you're going to do a gentle lunge. Hold the chair, stay stable. On the right side, if you've got a stronger practice, you can do a low lunge with the back knee on the floor and your hands on either side of your front knee. It is helpful to do this with blocks so that you're stable. Okay. And take a big old breath and lengthen your spine. Keep your head stacked, please, over your spine so the spine is straight. And then drop the right hip down a bit gently, inviting and caressing whatever tensions you hold in the hip with your breath. 5 breaths. When we open the hips, not only do we reduce back pain and hip pain, we actually allow the heart to blossom. So a few more breaths, opening the right hip. Back off if there's pain, but stay on the edge where you can send some breath into that pain with curiosity, openness, and then left side. You're in a low lunge on your blocks, or your left foot is on a chair. Step your right foot back a little bit for a longer opening. Arch your low back a bit. Head is not leaning forward, it's stacked. Beautiful. Good work. Rather than avoid tension and discomfort in the hips, send your breath. Caress with your breath. Breathe deeply. And unhinge your hips and unfurl your heart. There's a relationship there. Very nice. And put your feet together. Nice. And just for a moment, I want you to, we're going to stamp our feet to wake them up. Now, if you have a plantar fasciitis or arthritis in your foot, I don't recommend this. However, coming home into the body, landing in our bones goes a long way for recovering from trauma, the fight, flight, freeze response. Landing in our bones helps us be much more present and actually helps the heart to open. And stamping the feet is a way, actually, the brain, your mind will think it's silly, but your nervous system will respond when you stamp your feet and start to really sense your bones from the inside out. So have at it. Stamp your feet. Don't be shy. You're having a mini temper tantrum. Well done. And stop there. So this is very significant embryologically, like when we're in embryo, the kicking response, the stamping response is the very first movement of the infant. And the stamping the feet is a way of saying, I exist, I'm important, I'm here, my heart matters. It doesn't make sense logically, but to the nervous system, getting into the bones and stamping the feet, like I am here, I deserve to be here as who I am, right? So, and we want to tap the bones too. So how that looks, wake up the bones. This will work wonders on your health, whatever health issues you might have. Sides of the thigh. Sensing yourself deeply as you do this. Ignore your mind if it tells you you're being silly. And then your shins, tap, tap, tap. A lot of research behind this bone tapping for the health of the brain and the nervous system and the stress and trauma response. Come on up and gently tap the sternum, your shoulders, your arms, ribs. Nice. And then shake it out. Shake your wrists, shoulders. You know, a lot of what ails us physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually is unresolved, trapped energy. And that trapped energy gets stuck in our bones and our tissues and our fascia. So shake it out. Shake it out. There'll be other workshops where I go much more into depth about these principles. Shake your booty, don't be shy. Move a little energy. If we all did this every day, we'd have less pain. We would not have an opioid epidemic, and we'd all be so much healthier and brighter inside. Well done. Pause. Place one hand on your belly, one hand on your heart. Connect with your breath. Attune lovingly inside rather than distracted by the outside. And 5 breaths, just checking in with yourself. Intimate with yourself. Into me, I see intimacy. Sense yourself deeply. The beating of your heart, 80 beats a minute, 42 million beats a year. The pulse of your breath, 20,000 breaths a day. Send a little gratitude to yourself, your heart, your organs. And release your hands. Open your eyes. Great. We live in a culture that thrives when we get pulled out of ourselves. That we are over engaged in external events, whether it's news or social media. We leave ourselves and then our hearts become empty. We become empty, and we are not the true spiritual beings that the spiritual virtues talk about. So we need to draw in and sense ourselves, have a strong meditation practice, learn to have healthy boundaries and discernment with the news, negativity, social media, certain friends. Right? We need healthy boundaries to be healthy in our body. One more thing about the bone tapping. Our bones and the fascia retain memories, traumas, insults, abuses from the past. If you have bone or joint pain or issues, it's possible that there's trapped energy there that once released actually will release quite a bit of the pain and the discomfort. I know this to be true because I've lived it, and I've also worked 40 years with people on these principles. Okay, let's move on. I want to do some hip circles. So as I said, opening the hips helps the heart be held up and open as well. Now you can do this standing. There's a couple of different things you can do. Opening the right hip, doing circles, or if you have a more advanced practice, you can do a low lunge, be on the side, the right edge of your foot, left leg stretched behind you, and hip circles. So go ahead and do a 360 degree on the right side. I'm going to come and watch some of you. Stop if you have joint pain and back off, but continue the movement because you will hydrate your hips and your joints with these subtle, succulent, lush, fluid movements. They don't have to be big. Russie, less with the knee, more with the hip. Keep your knees still and move the hip. Beautiful. Great. Welcome, Julie. So glad you are joining us. Hey. Okay. Right. Very well done, everybody. The second side, please. Left side. Hip circles. Pay attention to the sensations in your hips. Many people have hip issues, second to hurts in the heart, hurts to their being, insults, repressed energy, angers that never got expressed, grief. I've had in the past a great deal of grief in my left hip. And I actually it was so painful and so dysfunctional. I needed 2 medical doctors told me I needed surgery. I said, no, thank you. And I completely healed my hip through these kinds of principles, working with the stress, the trapped energy, proper chiropractic and yoga therapeutics. I'm happy to say my hip is 100% now. I do know and have lived these principles. Well done. Come up to standing, please. Or if you're on a chair, just widen your legs. So nice and wide. Get a little wider. If it's uncomfortable for you, that's good. I don't want pain, but some of you could step wider. We get so tight this way. I'd really like to see you almost as wide as when you stretch your wrists out. Keep the feet active and engaged, snug towards the midline. Great. And what you're going to do is some gentle opening of the inner thigh and the hip. Bend the left knee, take the left arm overhead. Bend the right knee, take the right arm overhead. Keep your actions fluid. This is not aerobics. Yoga is about connecting gracefully with your depths. Keep the breath full into the back body. Keep the breath full into the side of the lungs. And now make it a little more fluid. Again, find that sea vegetable floating with the waves and the tides. Find that quality in your body, your neck, your legs. Keep the breath deep and full. Very nice. And then step the feet a little closer together. Your feet can be pointing straight ahead, but keep them active. Bend your knees. You may feel this in your quads a bit. Don't stick your booty out and don't have it tucked under. Stack head, shoulders, ribs, hips. Okay, this is hard work. Inhale the arms up, exhale down. Inhale the arms up, exhale down. Inhale the arms up, exhale down. And if you want to release a little trapped energy as you do this, inhale the arms up, so go ha, up, ha, up, ha, up, ha, up, ha, and come up to standing. This is a very empowering pose. And when we feel empowered, we can have a more awakened heart. When we feel disempowered or some kind of a victim or deeply hurt, we have a clenched, collapsed heart. What we just did helps us feel more empowered. One hand on your belly, one hand on your heart. This is not a workout, it's a work in. Turn inside, connect with your depths. Pay attention to your sensations. Massage your organs with your breath. Nice. Release your hands. Open your eyes. You all look great. Thank you for joining me. Good work. Nice to see you on Valentine's Day. So we'll do a couple of chest openers now, and you can do them standing. Just watch. So the arms would be bent. I'm stacking again, and I lift my heart to the sky. This is called Cobra, big heart opener. Right? Actually, everybody can do that standing. Make sure you're stacked first. You can do this on a wall, but pretend you have a wall in front of you. And then draw your sternum and your heart up to the sky, but keep the back of your neck long. Don't squeeze the back of your neck. And just a few breaths here, maybe 3 breaths. Lift your sternum another inch or 2. Shoulders back, back of the neck long. Open up the front body, open up the heart. Exhale, release. Great. If you want to heal shoulder and neck issues, getting longer in your side body between your hips and your pits, Getting the shoulders back and the head stacked and the heart open is one very important thing you can do to ease shoulder, head, and neck pain. Okay, let's do that once again. Elbows bent, feet active. Take a big breath, lengthen between the hips and the pits. Take your heart to the sky. 3 breaths. If you want to take it to the next step, stretch your arms out. Loving arms, loving expressions from your heart. Stretch your fingers long, stretch your inner elbows. Head back, heart lifted, full stretch, and exhale, release. Nice. That should feel pretty darn good. So we're going to do something similar on the floor, or you can just watch if you feel like you need a rest. This is called Cobra pose, or actually we'll do Sphinx. Elbows under shoulder. I'm nice and long between my hips and my pits, so walk your booty back. Hands straight ahead. Now, watch my back body for a moment. I don't want to be hard behind my heart. This is hard. Watch. I want to soften and melt behind the heart in this pose. So make the legs strong, hugging towards the midline. Elbows under shoulders. Smile. Okay? Nice and long in the side body. Soften between the shoulder blades and migrate your shoulder blades towards the spine and melt whatever hardness there might be behind your heart. Just a few breaths here. And then to take it to the next level, don't move your elbows, but isometrically drag them back and draw your heart forward an inch. So the elbows drag back, the heart lifts and draws forward, but it melts in the back. 3 big breaths here. Well done. Great. And just rest your forehead on your hands now. Enjoy your breath, taking time to pause and listen and turn inside. Perhaps making a commitment to be more inward, more spiritual, and less distracted by external events. Allow your awareness to saturate your God-given body from the inside out. Welcome the breath. And what I'd like you to do next is just shimmy your booty left and right. You can stay with your forehead on your hands, but just relax those gluteal muscles and let them swing left and right. Find a wave-like fluid motion, so good for the hips, so good for the low back, really helpful for the nervous system. And then please come to a sitting position. You can do this on a chair. It's better if you can do it on the floor. You're going to lie on your back with your knees bent. And the breath will lead. You just take the arms overhead. On inhale, rest the arms on the floor and pause. Exhale your arms down. Pause. 2 more times. Inhale your arms up. Pause. Exhale the arms down. Again. Now rest the hands by your hips and lift the hips. Inhale, hips to the sky. Exhale your hips down. Inhale, hips up. Exhale down. Inhale, hips up. Exhale down. And now both. Inhale, arms up, hips up. While the arms are up, stretch, reach, get long. Exhale the arms down. And 2 more times. Looking good? Great. And now a figure 4 hip opener. Place your right ankle over your left knee, which is bent. You can look up if you need to. Gentle arch in the low back. And then with your strap or your hands, right hand weaves through both legs, meets the left hand at the strap. Lift your left foot. So left hands are strapped around your left hamstring. The feet are active and engaged. Look at mine. And this is a lovely hip opener. If you gently draw your left knee towards your chest, and with your right elbow, press the right knee away. 5 breaths here, sending loving kindness and care to whatever tensions you may hold in your hips. After your 5th breath, second side. Left ankle over right knee. Right leg at 90 degrees. Left hand between the legs, and it meets the right hand at the hamstring, or use your strap. If you can draw the right knee more towards the chest, that's great. Keep the feet engaged and active. Wiggle your toes. With the left elbow, press the left knee away. And 5 breaths on this side. Well done. And once you've done that, I want to show you another hamstring opener. And you're on your back. Right leg straight out, left leg straight up. The block goes at the bottom of the left hamstring, or you can use your strap. And 5 breaths here. You're drawing the left leg towards your chest. And it's actually isometric. You're actually pushing the left thigh away. Stretch through your heel. Stretch through your heel towards the sky. Right. I'm going to take a look at what you're all doing here. Elizabeth, there's got to be a good way we can get you to open your hamstrings. Can you stand? Sitting won't do it. If you stand, Elizabeth, and find a chair or something, just bend your knees like this, stick your booty out, and that's a nice, safe hamstring open for you. In fact, if you're on the floor, switch sides for 5 breaths. Wrap your arms around your hamstrings and stretch through your heels. So flex your foot, Russie. That's it, Michelle. Now stretch long through the heel to the sky, but put your hands more at the hamstring, not the knee. Good, Elizabeth. That's it. Yeah. Bend your knees, Elizabeth. Arch your low back. That's it. Well done. And stretch your booty back. This is a nice hamstring opener for you. Stretch your neck long. 5 breaths. It's a wonderful modified down dog that's non-weight bearing for people who have some physical limitations. Well done. Place your feet down. And Elizabeth, feel free to sit again if you like. I'm going to change the view here. Okay, so you're on the floor or sitting. If you're on the floor, separate your feet 2 or 3 feet apart, lie on your back. Knees are wide and some gentle twists to the left or right. So you're doing this on the floor, or if you want to stand or sit, you're doing some gentle twists right and left, and you're keeping it fluid. If you're on the floor, the knees are going left, then right, left, then right. Yeah. Make it a little bigger, Michelle. Let your arms open up, take your head back, gentle twists. And just enjoy the innate fluid quality of your body. All bodies can do yoga. Not all bodies can do every pose. Modifications exist for every body. I've seen yogis who are crippled in a wheelchair or paraplegics who are yogis, and they modify so that they can connect more with their depths through yoga. Very nice. So please now take a seat with your hips higher than your knees. Always want your hips higher than your knees when you're sitting, watching TV, or in your car for back, knee, and hip health. And we'll finish, going a little bit over, my apologies, finish with a meditation. So notice how high my hips are over my knees. I've got a very nice forward arch in my low back. When I set up my car this way, I stopped having sciatica. That'll be another class coming in the future. How to set up the ergonomics of your home, office, and car to have less pain. Close your eyes. Turn inside. Sense yourself deeply. Enjoy your breath, your God-given breath. Enjoy the beating of your heart. Mind quiet, heart open. Please place your hands on your heart. Who has encouraged you or guided you in your life? Who has mentored you? Allow your heart to lift as you offer thanks to those people. Who in your life has challenged you? What losses, loved ones or friends, have you experienced? We honor that too. Lift your heart towards those hurts and losses, those challenges that have ripened us, perhaps cracked us open, helped us learn more about what it means to love. What nourishes your heart? Stay with yourself. Pick one thing you know nourishes your soul, your heart deeply, and commit to offering that to yourself today and off the yoga mat in your life. It's not likely to be food or chocolate, probably something more essential. You can relax your arms and just sit quietly for another minute or so. Inviting, praying for, willing to embody a more awakened heart that's inclusive of all people, all qualities, all challenges, rejects nothing, meets pain and anger with compassion, our own and others. An awakened heart that can blossom loving kindness into your family and the world. A tender heart, humane and caring, a heart that informs our actions, our breath, our health, our embodiment, what it means to be a fully awakened human being. We'll finish the class with one final Om. And one moment. Big full inhale. Oms are optional. If you don't care to Om, then pray for more sacred, for the embodiment of more of that which is holy and sacred. Big full inhale. Open your eyes. An authentic Valentine's Day to you. I'm so glad you all joined me. I'm very excited to share with you that this is the year of discovery and transformation. I am really stepping out with my Hope, Grace, and Gaia transformation workshops. We've got some really exciting material around body-based inquiry, how to heal pain in the body, working with white privilege and white body superiority and what we can do to ease racial tensions. We've got workshops on the sacred psoas, the GPS of the soul, and so much more. Watch for my newsletters. I will be sending you a calendar of all these exciting workshops, some free, some paid for. And next spring, join me if you want to embody more of your depth, your spirituality, and your breath, your life, your health. Join me next spring, probably March, in Todos Santos, Mexico, for a transformation and healing retreat. Have a wonderful rest of your day and take it off the mat. That's the yoga. Okay.